What's up, y'all? I'm going to be showing y'all how I achieved this closure wig from scratch, completely beginner friendly. If you want to see how, stay tuned to the end.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really did know you are.
All you would need are C-curve needles. I have 2 different sizes and some T-pins. Of course, your dome head, some scissors, some thread, a mesh dome cap. I chose the kid kind. And right here I have some needles already prepped for me just so I won't have to keep stopping. And I also have me about 4 T-pins ready. So the first thing I went ahead and did was kind of put all the hair into a ponytail from the closure just to get it all out of my way. Then next, what makes it more easier for me is I fold my closure in half and put like a little tiny cut at the beginning of my lace just to give me a guide of where the middle of my closure is. And your cap should be stretched as flat as possible just so there are no lumps in your wig and you can use your T-pins to hold it down. Next thing, you should have 3 lines on your dome head, and you're going to line your closure up where you cut it right with that line in the middle that you see, and you're going to have your closure hanging off at least 2 inches off the cap and just line it up as close as possible. So now you're going to hold your closure with one hand, then you're going to take your T-pin and slightly pull the closure and stick the T-pins in on all 4 sides and make sure they are flat as possible.
Put your drinks up. It's a celebration every time we link up. We done did everything they could think of. Greatness is.
See right here in the back, I'm slightly pulling the closure a little bit just to make sure it's very flat.
Drop down to your knees. Young money, the mafia, that's where the love sees. I'm in the Dominican, Big Poppy Ortiz, doing target practice, all these just aiming to please. Shout out to the CEO, 500 degrees. Shout out to the OVO, Red Wings and Fatigues.
And this is how it should come out. It's laid very flat on all 4 sides, and my closure is hanging off about 2 inches from the cap. Now here is where I added me some little guidelines just so I know where I'm sewing. They are a thumb's width apart from each other, and I just use some makeup. You can use a marker or whatever you have on hand. You will not see it once you get to sewing, and they are a thumb's width apart. Now when it comes to sewing, this is the way I like to sew. I sew upward or downward. It really doesn't matter. You can choose how you want. But what I do is I put the needle through the cap, through the closure, then I put the needle through the little loop that you're going to see, and I just keep doing that around the whole closure. And I sew close together just so there are no lumps and bumps once I'm done with the closure, and that's what you're going to see me doing.
When they say she get it from her mama, I'ma say you fuck her right. Body rude is humble like don't be in the humble. Tell me is you down? Cause I'm trying to go good tonight. All the hoochies left and right. I just wanna put in a fantasy.
Once I get to the opposite side of the closure, I'm going to take that through the loop one more time just to get a good knot. Then I take my scissors, cut the excess thread. I'm going to tie that up in a couple more knots just to secure it. You don't have to, but I just choose to, and then cut the excess thread. And this is how it should look with your closure sewn down. Very neat and clean threading. Now on to sewing down the wefts. I did go ahead and double my first bundle, and I did take my needle and put it through both wefts of the bundles, and we're going to take it through that first line that you see there, and we're going to sew that there.
Some of y'all go get washed, some of y'all just go pop shit, some of y'all just go talk, but none of y'all ain't really got shit.
And I did go ahead and put me a T-pin on the other side of my dome cap just to hold the bundle up for me. I'm going in with the same sewing method as I used for my closure. And you don't have to go through the weft each time. That was just at the beginning of the bundle to secure it. And you want to make sure that all of the hair is out of the way because it can get stuck like that. I decided to just cut the bundles. I wasn't, but it's pretty much easier. So I started my second little thread. This is still the first bundle though, and it is still doubled. This is what I did at the end of each weft before cutting it. I did the same thing with the knot. I'm going to cut that thread, tie it up a little bit more, cut that excess thread, and I'm going to use my razor just to get a more cleaner cut. And this is how it should come out. Again, very nice and clean threading across the whole weft. No gaps, no bumps or nothing. Since I'm only double wefting the first bundle, this is the last little piece, and I'm going to start single wefting for my second and third bundle. So we're just going to take this last piece and go ahead and start single wefting it.
They love to hate, but all the bad model girls, they love to date. You need to check my swag, get up to date. Check my swag, get up to date. Cause when we cut, I'm razor blader. I'm so laser, I'm so major, I'm so flavor, baby, I should have a clock on. How you get your pretty girl rock on? For all my girls from Atlanta out to Stockholm. And they looking like, what the hell you got homes? What you mean, baby girl? I got homes. Different cribs, new whips, and I'm feeling fly like a G6 fly. My swag hit on ladies unknowingly. Pleased to meet you, it's a pleasure knowing me. Back when I was pro, I used to pull on with my poetry. Check that yes and no for me, I guarantee she go with me. But the only thing I need to know right now is what a pretty girl like you doing in this part of town with a city girl swag and a country girl smile. I mean, you demoralize with your style, wow. Well, how about now? My jewelry's so loud, my girl's so wild. I mean, my swag so down. I guess that's the reason all the cops are so out.
Catch me, cameras flashing. Daddy turn his head just as soon as I pass him. Girls think I'm conceited cause I know I'm attractive. Don't worry about what I think, why don't you ask him? Stuck together, don't hate. Jealousy is the ugliest trait. I can talk about it cause I know that I'm pretty. And if you know it too, then ladies sing it with me. Don't need when I walk in, no question that this girl's a 10. Don't hate me cause I'm beautiful. Don't hate me cause I'm beautiful. I'm on my top the way I trip. It's not my fault, so please don't trip. Don't hate me cause I'm beautiful. You don't hate me cause I'm beautiful. Don't hate when I walk in, no question that this girl's a 10. Don't hate me cause I'm beautiful. Don't hate me cause I'm beautiful. I'm on my top the way I trip. It's not my fault, so please don't trip. You don't hate me cause I'm beautiful. You don't hate me cause I'm beautiful.
Do the pretty girl rock.
Do the pretty girl rock.
Do your pretty girl rock for me. Do your pretty girl rock. Do your pretty girl rock for me. Do your pretty girl rock for me. Do the pretty girl rock for me.
Do the pretty girl rock.
Do your pretty girl rock for me. Do your pretty girl rock for me. Do the pretty girl rock for me.
Do the pretty girl rock.
Do your pretty girl rock for me. Do your pretty girl rock for me. Do the pretty girl rock for me.
Do the pretty girl.
And now that that's done, I'm securing it the same way, and I'm just gonna brush through it, make sure there are no loose ends. And she is threaded very clean and very neat. And I'm gonna just go in and sew my second and third bundle. So we are on the last piece now. This is how I put the thread through the weft at the beginning of each one. And I'm going to show you how I sew down my last piece. What I'm doing here, I just took the needle through the weft, then I'm putting it on the first layer of the elastic part of the cap, and then I'm taking it through my closure. As you can see on the little brown part of the closure, I'm putting it through there every other time, just so if I wanted to switch my closure out, and I could just cut it out and it'll be easier to just replace it. So you don't have to put your thread through the closure each time, but make sure you're still sewing it down very flat. Right here you can see how I'm not going all the way through the elastic part of the cap because you don't want to prevent the stretchiness of your cap. So just make sure on the elastic part of the cap you're just going through that first layer of fabric.
These is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the store, I can get them both. I don't wanna choose, and I'm quick. Cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch. I make bloody moves.
This is how it should be looking once you've sewn that last piece down beside the closure. Very clean, no gaps or none of that. She's very full. And as you can see, you don't see none of those lines that I made in the beginning. And now I'm just going to take my cap off my dome head, and I'm going to cut that excess cap off on the inside. My camera did cut off, so it did not get to show that part. But what I did was I just cut the cap on the inside, not too close to the thread because it will unravel, just like an inch off. And as you can see, the threading on the inside is very precise. There are no loose ends or none of that. And I did go ahead and style my wig and customize it to my liking. So she is definitely dead up right now. And this is how it came out. I did go back in and cut the edges of the closure off just to give it a more flatter look, which you're gonna see me do at the end as well. But this is how it came out, very nice and neat. This is where I went in and cut that little thick part off of the closure just with your razor. Give it a little cut, not too far back, but just enough. I hope this video was helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
High volume.
Am I really there?